So Roger, you're chairman of the Museum Trust here in St Agnes, and people have told me Mr St Agnes in many ways as well. I mean, you've had generations of your family living here, haven't you?
Well, that's true, but there are others in the same situation. So there are several Mr St Agneses, actually, and Mrs St Agneses. You know, there are loads of people who are passionate about this place, who, you know, any excuse and they will launch forth with stories of the place. I mean, I like talking about home, but so do loads of others, and that's what makes our group quite a vibrant group, actually, in trying to keep this place open and connect with you know, the people of St Agnes across all age groups, from the schools upwards.
And it is a thriving village, unlike a lot of other coastal villages which tend to be sort of retirement villages. This is full of families, isn't it, St Agnes? It
is, yes. I mean, if you look at the surf club and the football club, two in particular, they are burgeoning. I mean, the surf club, I gather, has got over 700 members, and they've got year groups for every school year group, you know, people trained to look after these kids. It's fantastic.
Yes, we've now got over 740 members, and it's actually early in the season for us too, so that's a number we're expecting to grow. Through the summer we normally pick up a few people as the water starts to warm up and people start to get the wetsuits out of their cupboards and get the dust off the surfboards. So you know, way back there was always concern that some of these villages would become dormitory towns, but right now the village is thriving in terms of the number of young people here. We've actually got around 280 people under the age of 18 who we coach for at least an hour every week through the club, and yeah, it's wonderful seeing them come up to be the lifesavers of the future.
And you know, there has been some concern in the news lately about second homes here in St Agnes, with the wall just behind us vandalised last week, graffiti. How is that sort of affecting the community, that growth in second homes and holiday homes?
Well, I think there's a risk, if it's not done sustainably in the long term, that can undermine the very organisations like our own that both thrive on a strong community, but also provide services back to that community. There's a point at which perhaps that becomes unsustainable if an attitude spreads that there's a sort of us and them. But right now, I think this community is very strong. It's wonderful just sitting here, you know, saying hi to people walking past. When you pop into the shops in the village, there's still that real strong feel. Even in the summer when the number of visitors are large, we've still got that real core of a community here.
The thing is, we are a year-round village. It's got a vibrancy, and so, as I mentioned, you can buy a bottle of bleach any day of the week to get rid of the graffiti, if that's your game. So, I mean, it's a great community, no doubt about it.
And is that causing concern amongst the community, though, that local people are being priced out?
Yeah. I mean, my daughter can't afford to live in St Agnes, and you know, it is an issue. It's an issue nationwide. It's not just Cornwall. I mean, it's accentuated in certain places, and this may well be one of those places. But it plays out in honeypot areas in Cornwall, you know, so often. And this is why our neighbourhood development plan has included a policy that is striving to ensure that new development is aiming at meeting local need, and also making it suitable for year-round occupation, giving that emphasis to things. But of course the housing market is vast, and the older houses change hands, and you know, the policies don't have any real sway over that, and I think that's part of what's at issue.